the tea don't stop. She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell cause the tea don't stop. Hit that bell cause the tea don't stop. She don't miss nothing.
Hey guys, we're back again for another video. Now listen, we're gonna get into this wedding in attendance because, as people have said for a very long time, Porsha Williams not showing up to her bestie's wedding. Now, if that's not given, girl, I really don't mess with you, I don't know what is.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
But since you Porsha fans, I don't know what to call y'all, Porsha supporters or whatever, because we only talk about the truth over here, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's pretty much what it is. So we have been talking about this for some time, because what friend don't show up for your wedding? Like an associate, somebody you know, but somebody you call your sister, your girl, didn't show up for your wedding. Not only did she not show up, she has been exposed, because one thing I can tell y'all about a liar, and this is why I don't even know why people lie. Liars will eventually tell on themselves, because how could you keep up with all of the lies? In fact, you don't. And this is one thing about every liar. They will eventually expose themselves, because something that's not reality is not reality, which means you're going to eventually speak what really happened, or you just gonna keep telling different lies. And we saw this. We saw this in this episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. If y'all recall, you know this scene right here. They were having the discussion about Porsha and Shamea. They were kind of talking about, different things, but ultimately what they were talking about is Shamea. They trying to say Shamea is basically don't really stand up to Porsha. It's pretty much what they're saying. So the ladies thought that it would be a great idea for them to basically tell Porsha that she is dimming Shamea's light, and pretty much Shamea doesn't shine because Porsha don't want her to shine. That's pretty much what the girls are saying, with regards to this Porsha Shamea situation. And I want to kind of backtrack on that because I'm going to show you guys what was said now, but what, Porsha said before.
Your friendship. And I want Porsha and Shamea to really, truly have that conversation of how you both feel about each other. Everyone feels like Shamea is not able to really, truly shine in who she is because you don't allow her to be her best self.
Now, I don't know who will want that type of friend, because if you have a friend that is not allowing you to shine, it's real simple. The bitch ain't your friend. And this is what I've been saying. I don't know nothing about these women like that, but judging from what I'm seeing, they don't seem like they're really friends. I mean, it seemed like they are a form of fake friend. I mean, we see that a lot. These, women ain't necessarily friends, okay? They may be close associates, and we know that they are very well close associates because if you guys recall, their parents were friends and kind of, introduce them, and y'all know how that works. Sometimes you may be friends with somebody, sometimes you outgrow the person, or sometimes you just find out that you really don't like them. And what I've always said, I'm gonna say what I always said, but what I've learned just from watching, these seasons, I don't think Porsha really messed with Shamea like that. Let's kind of get into it.
Brought up that I didn't come to her wedding, and then every time Shamea brings you something, she puts, a sauce on it, like.
So, and we talked about that. Porsha, like, Shamea keep putting a sauce on it. Shamea is not telling it like it was. Shamea is pretty much making something seem like it's more than what it actually is. They even get into Porsha not wanting, Shamea on the show, which is giving something. I mean, it's given that Porsha don't really mess with her like that, like I said. And we can get into that right here with regards to what Porsha had to say.
She also went on to say, I didn't want you on the show.
Yes, I asked you about that. And
now here's the deal. Your friend don't, even if, Shamea was incorrect in what she thought about Porsha not wanting her to be on the show, why does she even feel like Porsha is doing these things? And this is what I'm telling y'all. This friendship is a wrap. These girls are not friends. I don't know, what they thought they were, but in my honest, opinion and what I've been seeing, it don't really seem like they are friends. Okay, it does not seem like these ladies are friends at all. Okay, just don't seem like it to me. Now, in this particular show, they got into why Porsha did not attend Shamea's wedding. And it's very important to point out because Porsha told us a whole nother reason, and we're gonna get into that.
Brought up that I didn't come to her wedding, and then every time Shamea brings you something, she puts, a sauce on it. Like, she also went on to say, I didn't want you on the show.
yes, I asked you about that, and you showed me your receipts of how you did.
Okay. So we talked about that. So with regards to, her not wanting Shamea on the show, Porsha is saying that's pretty inaccurate, that is just not true. But I spoke to y'all about this once before. As long as Porsha had been on the show, and you guys, if you saw that episode, I know Candy, I don't know if it was an episode, but she did I don't know if it was an Amazon Live or something like that, but Candy spoke on advocating for Shamea. Now, I want y'all to think about this. If Candy advocated for Shamea to be on the show, why didn't Porsha? Okay, can we make it make sense? Because if Candy advocated for Shamea to be on the show, can y'all make it make sense? Then why wasn't Shamea on the show before Candy advocated for her? Okay, because if Candy advocated for you to be on the show, you're on the show now. But why wasn't she on the show prior to? Because I didn't really know that Shamea wanted to be on the show, but judging for what we're seeing, she actually did. So did Porsha really want her on this show?
Listen, this is supposed to be a safe space to have a conversation. So when it comes to what Angela said, what would make you question the friendship or attack it?
Shamea, I just feel like you are afraid. And I feel like.
Now, we spoke about this in another video, but I'm going to get to the part that Porsha kind of talks about why she did not go to Shamea's wedding.
There are things that have been bothering you for a while. I will say this. I wouldn't have never known she didn't come to your wedding. There's no way.
The world knew, girl.
For the record, no, I did not go to Shamea's wedding in Kenya because a couple months or a month or two prior to her actual wedding, we were not speaking.
Okay, there you guys have it. You have it. You heard what Porsha said. I didn't go to her wedding because we were not speaking. Now, I don't know how you've been somebody's friend for their damn near their entire existence. And just because y'all get into a little spat, you decide not to show up for that girl wedding when you know that you're only going to hopefully get married once, unless they you and get married multiple times, okay? But you did not show up for your friend's wedding because y'all had some kind of little friendly spat or whatever it was, but it was nothing that you all did not manage to get over with. So for the ones who didn't hear it, y'all already know what's getting ready to happen. Let's play her again, okay? What did Porsha say? Why did Porsha not attend Shamea's wedding?
Come to your wedding. There's
The
no
world
way.
knew, girl.
For the record, no, I did not go to Shamea's wedding in Kenya because a couple months or a month or two prior to her actual wedding, we were not speaking.
That's
I've
what y'all need to
apologized
stop.
for these.
1 second, you did not tell me that. You told me
Mar, I told you.
Okay, are you guys hearing what's happening here? So what Shamea is saying, wait a minute, girl, what you mean, girl? What you mean? You didn't come to my wedding because we had gotten into it. Y'all see, Shamea is confused as well because that is not what Porsha said. Again, as I told y'all before, one thing a liar has to do is remember the lies and keep up with the lies. Porsha don't even remember what she said, or she lies so much that she can't keep up with the lies. Now, Shamea went on to try to tell her what it was she said, and I really wish she had not done that because then Porsha start to backtrack. And let's see if we can just get into a little bit of that, of what she actually said.
I told you that I could not lay in.
Okay, so now she gets into her lie, which is the one that she really told. But what I want you guys to recall, because we forget, I even forget some of this stuff. I actually had to go back and watch a lot of this stuff myself because I forget as well. You know, it's been so long. Now, this was a snippet that, you know, went viral on social media. This obviously is not the full episode, but this was the sit down where they got to talking about why isn't Porsha not going into, you know, not coming to Shamea's wedding. And I want y'all to just listen to what she said.
You're supposed to be there. You're supposed to be in the wedding. Figure that out. Porsha has dogged Shamea out, treated her like and now she doesn't even want to go to the girl's wedding. So to me, I'm like, do you really need her as your friend?
Like physically, I just can't do it in coach.
Why don't you go to the doctor?
You know when I passed out at the nail shop.
Okay, so not Porsha, Candy is laughing because at what point do we just be like, this girl is a liar? So Porsha is making up excuses after excuses, but nobody is buying it. And you guys are going to kind of understand why at the end nobody is buying it, because she's being dishonest. So Candy is laughing and Shamea is like, what again?
She has been milking this whole.
I'm supposed to, Shamea.
Okay, put me on y'all's payroll. Okay, so help me understand the condition.
Oh my God, I can't. I sent you the whole thing on it.
I know I was mad I didn't read it.
Okay, so Porsha is like, I sent you the whole thing on it. Girl, what is it? Because all of these different stories just don't align. So let's, get back into their back and forth, okay?
That's not nice.
Why was that?
Because I was telling you something about my health. I would have thought you would have read that.
She got a doctor's excuse for everything.
My doctor brought me a doctor's note. It's crispy.
So as y'all can see, what's really going on here is the cast, they laughing because they pretty much know that Porsha is full of shit and she makes up lies. So that's why nobody at this point is taking her serious, because if y'all remember on the show during her, pregnancy, she was, pulling these doctor's notes out of her ASS.
I could not sit in the front seats, right?
I didn't know that we had an issue.
By the time we started that speaking, it was so close to your flight. You said that, but you know what? At the end of the day, it wasn't meant to be. I was in your tradition.
Okay, wait a minute, guys. I'm sorry. Let me stop right now. Okay, I think I shared it wrong. Well, wait a minute. Wait. I got two screens going. Okay, so let's kind of get back into that, guys. I am so sorry. I got the wrong one. So I'm going to share y'all the one where they are actually at they're at a dinner, and they were into the conversation as to why Porsha was not attending Shamea's wedding. And you got Kandi and Carmen, they're laughing because they're like, this girl is lying again. Here we go with these doctors' excuses.
Let me see. Let me get one of these notes here.
Do I have today?
Let's see. What letter I need. Porsha, you're telling me you're not coming to my wedding. Yeah, but I'm telling you something about my health. It's not the flight. Bottom line.
Okay, so nobody is taking her serious. It's not even a situation as far as to her health, but she's making it appear as if it's something that is not. Frankly, I mean, she had a pregnancy just like everybody else. But if you guys watched the show, what you would have learned is every time there was something that she didn't want to do, she would lean on her pregnancy. So same situation with Shamea's wedding. She never wanted to attend. So instead of saying that, she made it about her not being able to fly.
Line is you're not coming.
Well, she can't sit on a plane that long with her legs down. They used to being up all the time.
I can't with you.
I wish that Porsha would just be honest and say that she doesn't want to go.
Okay, Kandi got it. I mean, that is the memo that everybody has been saying. It is not that, she had all of these medical things going on. The girl just didn't want to go. So why, if somebody is your friend, a close friend, why would you miss a time in their lives where you would probably never witness it again? Because we hope that when people get married, they stay married. Well, we know that's not the case with Porsha, but in the case of Shamea, you were not even there to celebrate this girl's, getting married. And it appears, which we knew all along, that you lied when you said that you couldn't travel because you just didn't want to go.
Because clearly she goes everywhere else that she wants to go, medical condition and all.
And that's pretty much it, y'all. I wanted to show y'all that that particular snippet, because in that particular clip, nobody believed her. Like, even when she was saying, I can't go, my whatever it was that she never really said, it seemed to just be a situation that she just didn't want to go. And as I have said, or at least I've been saying it over these few weeks, I just don't think that Porsha really has it for Shamea the way that Shamea has it for her. Now, I don't know, I guess there are situations where people have friends and they want to keep that friend in a certain area. And it could be, baby, Shamea is somewhere where you would like to be, because I don't know if y'all picked up on this. I didn't realize that Shamea had multiple weddings as well. It seems like she had one, in the States, and then one in, was it Kenya? Yeah, Kenya. So where did Porsha get the idea from? So I'm just seeing a lot of weird stuff here. I don't know, what y'all thoughts of it is, but it really, really, really seems like that Porsha, she just don't have it for Shamea. She does not have it for Shamea. And it seems like Shamea is constantly trying to protect this girl, trying to speak up for her. And she does not get the same when it comes to this friendship. Now, a lot of y'all have said in the comments that Porsha is jealous of Shamea. Now, I use that word in a laughing way, but I really don't like that word, jealous. But it really does seem as if, Shamea may have some of the things that Porsha may want. Now, I don't know if y'all caught the part when, Porsha had stated that she had said that she would want Shamea as a part of the show. Well, if Porsha wanted Shamea as a part of the show, why wasn't she ever a part of the show? If y'all know how this, goes with these Real Housewives, they usually would refer somebody. So just think about this. Being that Shamea was somebody that they wanted on the show at one or two particular times, I don't know how many times she was asked to join. She also stated that her husband did not want to be a part of the show, but now at this point, they were open to having her, although he does not really want to be a part of the show. So think about the network asking Shamea back whenever they did, and then Porsha coming back to say, yeah, Shamea, she wants to be on the show now. I don't know about y'all, but I think it's another lie that Porsha is telling, because I feel like if she actually advocated and said, hey, bring her on the show, I believe that they would have. If y'all recall, Kandi did say that around the time that she was leaving, that she mentioned Shamea and told them, hey, y'all should, really look, back into, bringing her on the show. So if Porsha really wanted Shamea on this show, why wasn't she on the show? Why wasn't she on the show? Also, why is Porsha giving us two different stories as to why she did not go to her best friend's wedding? Now, if it was a situation where you're saying you were so sick and you couldn't fly, well, let it be that. Now you go from, oh, I was so sick, to we had been in an argument. So if you get in an argument before somebody dies, do you not attend their funeral? I mean, I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense. So it's like she's flip-flopping with these stories. And that is how you know that Porsha is not being truthful. And just like Kandi said, she did not want to attend Shamea's wedding. You know what I've learned about some people? I had a particular family member. She had a nice house. I mean, it was nice to me. If I were getting one, well, they didn't really get it built. They kind of bought it new, but it was nice for her. It wasn't particularly a house that I would want for myself, but I remember, it was a, nice house for her or whatever. But I recall having a event at my house, and I always felt as though she didn't want to come because she did not want to come over to see my house, because she didn't know like how my house would look, because she had never been to my house, but she knew that the area that my house was in, that it was beautiful homes out there. And I always felt though that she just didn't want to come because she didn't want to have it in her mind. Well, what if her house, it was just weird. But there are people that don't want to experience your happiness and your joy simply because they just cannot take it. Now, Porsha done gave multiple stories as to why she did not want to go to her own friend's wedding. I mean, first it was, we got into an argument. Then it was, girl, I didn't go because I couldn't ride on a plane. It's the back and forth. And that is kind of how you know that it is something more, interesting here, because if you did not go because of your medical your medical condition, let it be that. But this right here, this shows you that Porsha, she don't feel it for Shamea.
Come to your wedding. There's
The
no
world
way.
knew, girl. For the record, no, I did not go to Shamea's wedding in Kenya, because a couple months or a month or two prior to her actual wedding, we were not speaking.
Okay, y'all heard that. Now, listen, you have to let it be whatever it is. Now, she said, I didn't go to your wedding because, girl, I had a medical condition. But here is something totally, totally different. So my thing is, girl, you didn't go because you really don't like her like that.
You know when I passed out at the nail shop.
She has been milking this whole.
I'm supposed to, Shamea.
Okay, put me on y'all's payroll. Okay, so help me understand the condition.
Oh my God, I can't.
Okay, so this is where they're going to get into explaining it. Now, keep this in y'all mind. She just said, I didn't go to your wedding, girl, because we had been in a fight. Like, we had an argument. We got into it. We got into it bad. So I didn't go. But this is not what she's saying now. Like, if you go back and look, this is what she said then. But now she's saying we got into it. Which is it?
You the whole thing on it.
I know I was mad. I didn't read it.
Oh, that's not nice.
Why I was mad?
Because I was telling you something about my health. I would have thought you would have read that.
She got a doctor's piece for everything. No?
My doctor brought me a doctor.
So do y'all understand where we're going with this? It's like, girl, what is the real reason that you did not attend your best friend's wedding? It's very clear, Porsha, that I'm going to keep saying it. You don't see it for Shamea, and that's pretty much it. You don't. Before, now that if we go back to season 10, she said, I had whatever this medical condition was. I'm a doctor. Excuse y'all ass.
It's crispy.
Let me pull it out. Let me see. Let me get one of these notes here.
Do I have today?
Let's see. What letter I need.
Okay, if y'all don't catch that, I don't know what to tell you, because there is definitely, there's something is just not adding up with this entire story. And let's see if, because I think she actually says it. I just don't see it on here. But just give me a minute. Let me see if I can find it.
In the wedding, figure that out.
Porsha has dogged Shamea out, treated her like and now she doesn't even want to go to the girls' wedding. So to me, I'm like, you really need her as your friend?
Like, physically, I just can't do it in coach.
Why don't you go to the doctor?
You know when I've had...
Okay, she couldn't do it. She can't go. Medical condition, whatever it is. But it's a medical condition. But you didn't have a medical condition when you recorded this particular episode. Y'all get what I'm trying to say here? If it was a medical condition, then wouldn't it have been a medical condition when they recorded this?
I will say this. I wouldn't have never known she didn't come to your wedding. There's
The
no
world
way.
knew, girl.
For the record, no, I did not go to Shamea's wedding in Kenya, because a couple months or a month or two prior to her actual wedding, we were not.
Okay. We were not speaking. There it goes, y'all. She don't see it for Shamea, and I don't know why Shamea is crying, girl. She don't like you. Get over it. Move on with your life, your husband, and your kids, because Porsha don't like you.